Hi, I'm Samantha with PopHorror, and I'm here with Glenn and Trist from the band Two Shadows. You might know them from the singles like Screamworks, and they also do a really fun TikTok series called Goths in Ungodly Places. How are you both doing today?
Doing well, doing super well. We're just getting started, having a nice classy afternoon beginning to the day. So
Be doing better if it wasn't raining like crazy outside.
yeah, it's gross. It snowed here and that shut down the city, and now it's just been pouring rain and all the snow's gone. That was our winter just happened. It was about 1 week long.
Sure. That happened here too. I'm in Philly. Where are you guys at?
Philly. We're in Vancouver, Canada, on the west coast.
Okay. Okay.
Philly. Whereabouts is Philly? You know?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. It's a little south of New York.
Oh,
Philadelphia.
so you're east. Okay, okay.
Cool. So
We've
yeah, I
gotten
love.
as far as Rochester, New York. That's the farthest we've made it.
Hmm.
Okay, got to keep going down more.
Uh,
Well, so I love like a good origin story to start. I would love to hear just how you guys came together, how this band formed.
Nice. All right, you're up, Trist. Trist, he hired me into the band, so this is perfect. So this is
Technically, yeah. The band started in 2015, maybe late 2014, technically, with like a totally different lineup of guys. And yeah, I don't know. It's been like, I don't know, musicians, it's like a job. You get along with some people you don't. Sometimes you mend, different things happen. People get significant others and can't handle the touring, or they just like they can't handle the financial strain when you're starting a band in the beginning. And it's just been members leaving. And then we met Glenn through literally a friend of a friend of a friend. We needed a bass player for a 2018 tour that we were doing. And we had a friend recommend him, and he lived in a town about 13 hours away, 12 hours away.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that a friend of ours like grew up in, and they knew him. They're like, "Hey, I know this guy that plays bass. He might be interested." And we did a video call with them, and it really kicked him off, or really kicked it off. And then yeah, he was on the road with us just as a touring member for the first tour, and then we kind of got talking a little bit more, and we just vibed with him so well that he agreed to move to Vancouver, where we're from now. And one thing led to another. We ended up losing a singer, and then he had this secret, gorgeous voice that he was hiding away. And yeah, he's just like, I might be able to try it out. We were working on a song at the time, and just kind of like he knew the lyrics, and threw him in the vocal booth, and we are just kind of sitting there speechless. The voice he brought with him, and we had no idea for probably, I don't know, 6 months that he even sang. So it's been like that ever since.
You should have seen their faces when I started practicing, and then 3 years later, I actually sounded good. That was good, and yeah, like that. And when I first met Trist and the Two Shadows operation, I was trying to do bands in Calgary at the time, and like yeah, they just had it so going on. Trist had the same vision as I wanted to do in a band, and yeah, as soon as the tour was done, I like threw all my junk in my car and just like drove straight down to Vancouver, and pretty much we've
Oh
been
my god, I have to
here ever
stop this
since.
for a sec. I'm seeing all your Chucky dolls in the
Oh
back.
yeah.
Oh no way!
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Wow, I would have totally missed that. That's great.
Oh, it's funny. When I heard your name is Glenn, I'm like, oh my God, see to Chucky.
Oh yeah, I forgot his real name's Glenn.
I haven't even seen Seed of Chucky actually.
Oh, it's
That's I
funny. Funny as
I
hell.
feel like I'm always behind on my horror movies, no matter how many I watch. There's always like this really important one that I've just completely missed, but that'd be it.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, so now kind of your current sound, your current like aesthetic, which people are really they're seeming to be enjoying. Was that like that from the beginning, or has that kind of evolved over the years to what it is now?
Yeah, there was this band before Two Shadows that went under the name Sick Addiction. It's a super terrible name. But the first lineup of Two Shadows was essentially that band. It was kind of a bit of a rebrand, but we started toying around with the makeup looks and stuff back then, which would have been like 2013 maybe. I've always grown up on people like Alice Cooper and like some like Kiss and stuff, so I was always pretty drawn to like having a makeup look. But we kind of felt a little bit darker than that. And just kind of, I don't know, Sick Addiction, we started not really the full blackout arm paint or neck paint or anything, but started wiping a little bit of black stuff on. And honestly, in the beginning, it started with, it was just, I felt kind of like naked without like tattoos and stuff. And the goal was to eventually be covered in tattoos and to not like wear the black neck paint and stuff. And it was just kind of a temporary placeholder that became a big part of the band and everything. And yeah, but like in like the rebrand and everything, it was like that from day one. It was so yeah, it's been almost 10 years of this style and stuff. And we've been I've been a band for almost 10 years. And yeah, the last couple of years have been pretty crazy for us for sure, as far as trajectory and all that stuff. So
Okay. The first time, my first two shadows though was the first time I ever put on eyeliner in my life, so it was memorable, and still doing it to this day.
yeah, this is like 6 years ago now, almost crazy.
Yeah, that number just keeps going up. I
Yeah.
can't explain it. Can't explain it.
In my head, 2015 is like 3 years ago. So so you mentioned like the black arm paint and stuff that's very motionless and white, which I know that you guys draw a lot of influence from. They're my favorite band. I have their lyrics on my arm and everything. Can you talk
Nice.
about just like what about that band influences you guys?
It's actually weird because when we started doing that back in 2015, I had actually none of us had heard of Motionless in White at all. And like I didn't discover them till later. Like actually, believe it or not, my biggest influence to that look and everything was actually In This Moment. With like a bigger one. I was like really into In This Moment, and obviously pulling from like Kiss and Alice Cooper and like Nine Inch Nails and all that stuff. I think I seen like that Woodstock performance where they're actually the body paint honestly probably came from the Woodstock performance where they covered themselves in mud. And I that was more of the influence to me. I grew up in a really rural small town, so I'm like literally 10 years behind with all of that stuff like initially. So I definitely had never heard of like Motionless or any of those bands that are doing what we're doing that before we were doing it. So they were definitely doing it before though for sure. But
Yeah, it's funny how all that works too. And like Trist introduced me to Motionless in White. I hadn't actually really checked them out before, and I was like pretty surprised. I was like, damn, this is like really good. And in this, a lot of these bands that do like, you know, like the super theatric, darker kind of music, or like the goth stuff, or what be it. And it's like Motionless, I think, is definitely kind of like they reign king in this territory. Like all those looks, they like coined it kind of best and like first, you know. And that's, you know, you just, we all live under the grand like Motionless umbrella in a way, which is cool. And there's so many bands that do it, and it's kind of fun. There's a little bit of a community to it, but you know, gotta like salute the OGs.
yeah,
which
but
is
at the
always
same
sick.
time, like we're always striving and have a pursuit to keep building ourselves and to find like some more originality in there because we don't want to be any type of a copycat to no means, and we're constantly trying to find new like looks where I would say like obviously Glenn and I in our core we really like that dark gothic kind of imagery and everything, and that's who we are. But we're a big fan also of just theatrics in general, so it's not like I don't look at other bands, we don't look at other bands and we're like, oh, that's cool, let's do that. It's just it's completely gone to how can we best represent ourselves in like the looks and everything in our stage show and what we have going on. Like really try to like to the point where I don't even really listen to like a whole lot of like new music when it comes out and stuff. Sometimes I just try to kind of go back to those roots and try to like get inspired from that. And I don't know, just I don't know, it's easy to get lost in a sea of current sound if you pay too much attention sometimes as an artist. So
Nice. It's a spontaneous adventure.
yeah.
Sure. Well, speaking of adventures, I love the TikTok series, Goths and Ungodly Places. That's how me and I know a lot of people found you guys. How did that start?
That one was the strangest story how big that's become now, because it went back to a really specific moment when we were building our tour bus or tour van, or sort of it was more van and now it's more bus after the renovations. But we bought like a vehicle, gutted the whole thing down to a tin can essentially, and then Trist had access to a wood shop at the time, and he like designed all like this furniture and the bunks, and me and him were in there working like pretty ridiculous hours. We had like day jobs. We're doing 8 hours at the day job, and we do 8 hours at the wood shop because we needed to get this thing ready for going on tour. And this was just over a year ago. And yeah, we were also always filming and stuff. So we at one point we're in like costumes, but like in the wood shop, like cutting boards, and there's like sawdust flying, and it was like such a funny like visual. And then we were like, yo, like we should, like this is totally a video right here. So we filmed the first Goths in a Gothly Places at the like Goths in a wood shop. And like nobody watched it, nobody thought it, like some people, it was funny, it was totally funny, but nobody really saw it. And then we did another one where we were walking around like downtown. And then the third one, we went to the beach, and we just thought this idea was so funny. We like, even though it didn't get a reaction, we just like we're just gonna still do it because it's so good. And when we went to the beach, and that one was really silly, and that just blew up. I remember the day we posted it, I was out at a bar with some friends, and I was refreshing TikTok, and it was like over 1 million, and then like refreshed, and it was like 1.5 million, and then 2, and then it got to 3 million. And then it got taken down TikTok. I stabbed a beach ball with a stick, and then they said it was too violent, so they took the video down. And it was completely heartbreaking. And then we were like, oh, that was our 10 seconds in the spotlight. And then we re-uploaded it like the next day with a censor over me stabbing a beach ball. Come on. And then it went right back to 3 million views, and that was kind of when it all started. And yeah, it turns out there's a lot of ungothly places that are pretty hilarious to go, and we're still doing them. Even like I can't remember what the last one that we did, but it's just been such a good series for us.
Bass Pro Shop.
Bass Pro Shop. Yeah, there's a lot of ungothly places I never realized they're out there. But yeah,
it's funny in the comments because when we check them out, like everybody finds like gothly features in any place that we go. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, you can kind of find the goth if you look for it pretty much anywhere, even the beach, really. So there's always somebody that's pointing out the flaws, if you will, but like come on, we're making the world a gothlier place day by day. That's our mission.
Sure. I love the beach one. It reminds me of, if you've ever seen Sweeney Todd, when him and her sitting on the beach and he's dead serious. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think that was the inspo for that.
100%
like the first shot where it comes up and we're like sitting on the beach towels, like that was 100% inspired by that.
Yeah, we tried to get the poses kind of similar because it was just so perfect in the movie when they did it.
Yeah. Now, what is it like creating them? I'm sure you guys crack up at some point.
There's we put the bloopers on our Patreon. We have a pretty hard time keeping a straight face sometimes.
Oh my god, every cut is because someone laughs every time, whether it's the camera person, usually me, usually I laugh first, sometimes Tris, but that's how the video is cut, is just because it is so silly, like trying to like keep a straight face when these goofy things are happening. Like, oh my goodness.
Like the first maybe 5 of them were like really difficult because it was like, it was fresh, it was new. We were still kind of discovering the formula for everything and how we were going to shoot them. And then it got like kind of easier. It was like, it kind of got more like corporate in our filming style. Like it was like so planned out and so written, and like they were executed so fast, and we were able to just do it. And it kind of, I feel like, lost a little bit of the magic. And then
different flavor, less silly, I think.
And then we had a couple of the videos, like after that, we kind of like we didn't plan to do them. We went to a location to shoot a totally different video, and it was just kind of like, hey, like we could probably do like an ungothly place here. And they were like,
you seeing what I'm saying?
Like, yeah, spur off the cuff, and like we kind of, that laughter came back a little bit, and then it was a little bit spontaneous, and then those videos did way better than all the rest. So we kind of really try to not be too scriptive and corporate, so to speak, about them, and just like really like, that's a cool location, let's just go with a camera guy and see what happens. And those always end up being the funniest and the most spontaneous and uncomfortable and awkward, and like you can feel it. I feel so, I don't know,
there's real magic in the spontaneity. I think it's like hard to like reliably always have that spontaneous kind of magic and that gold to just appear, but like if you can get it, that's totally the secret, I think.
Sure. Are there any ungothly places you hope to visit someday?
Oh,
there's a lot of gothly places.
Yeah. I'd say one that has been on our mind for a while, which hopefully will happen depending on our tour schedule. But there's like Bat Stay at Fun Park in Disneyland.
Oh yeah.
And they've people have been asking us to go for that for a couple of years now, and hopefully we have some other stuff kind of in LA area around that time, and we're hoping that we can stop by and make that happen this year, but we'll see. We're not really sure what that kind of area months looks like for us right now. But
I think Bats Day is like if you're familiar with Bats Day, like the Disneyland thing they do. That I think that's the ultimate ungothly place. I think it's like known already, you know. So we gotta cross over and make it there. That'll complete the mission.
yeah, but we have so many ideas for like being on that location and videos and stuff, even to the point where I kind of want to like see if we can cast some fans that are in the area to like meet up for like a bigger group, because we have some cool ideas, but that might happen. We'll see.
Yeah, I might even stay for an extra day, you know.
So now I know a lot of people have discovered your music through these videos. Can you talk about, if any, just the impact of TikTok on you guys as a band?
It was pretty massive. I mean, we all this like stuff, the music and the TikToks, like we just genuinely love doing it. So like we will not be stopped. But it wasn't what it was like 2 years ago, or specifically before TikToks and all this stuff blew up. So it was like I don't think we thought the reaction was gonna be so like, you know, the music would be so affected by it. It was kind of like, oh, if TikTok blows up, we'll have a big TikTok account, and that's cool. But we really, our hearts are in the music. But to our surprise, so many people were like interested enough, and they thought it was so rad that they actually checked out the music. And then lo and behold, like I remember after we blew up on TikTok, we went out and played a couple shows, and then all of a sudden the people in the crowd like knew the words and they're singing the words back. And it was like that was literally the difference. It went from like not a lot of people, like, you know, people would come out to see us, but it was like, you know, it was really nice and it was chill. And then all of a sudden we're playing these like shows and it was packed and everyone knew the words. And like that's the actual difference that TikTok made, which we never thought, but like it was a beautiful thing, honestly. And it's yeah, now it's almost celebrated between us. Like we love the TikTok community because they love the music, and the music people love the videos. It's like I'm stoked on how much of a community it's created. And you know, we've got all these things that we didn't have before. There's like a Patreon and all this stuff. And yeah, we have all these awesome fans that we know too, and it's just like what a crazy journey that kind of started on just like some funny videos in a way.
I remember those first shows too, after we had a couple videos do well. They were kind of like more tester shows. I think we played like Vegas and San Francisco, and
yeah, we tested it out at Vegas.
Yeah, Salt Lake City, and there was like 5 shows, I think, and Long Beach was the last one. But we did like 5 tester shows, and then also while we were out there and learning about like how many more people are coming to shows now, I think we had our first video just all of a sudden take off on like Facebook, and it ended up being a weird thing. And our Facebook community, I guess, is almost strong, if not stronger and more interactive than TikTok now. So now it's kind of shifted in a weird way where, but which works really good, because I don't know, it's Facebook. I feel like the algorithm's a little bit better, especially on the music end, and it shows it to a lot more people. It shows people more like when we announce shows and everything. Like TikTok's a little bit harder to like. The music algorithm does not favor us there, so that's a bit of a struggle trying to push music on that platform. But I feel like lots of the music fans are coming from like TikTok and Instagram kind of thing. I mean, sorry, Facebook and Instagram, but
it's the algorithm war out here for musicians. It truly is.
Oh my God. Now, can you guys talk about just touring over the years? I know you've done some stuff in America, just what that reception has been like. And you also mentioned that you're trying to find like unique theatrics for you guys. Just what is a typical Two Shadows performance like?
Oh wow. I mean, you have that's like yeah, a grand question in my mind. I think we spent a lot of time thinking about that. The reception in the States has been amazing. That's an easy one. And yeah, every show, we've been to a lot of cities for the first time recently, which has been super cool. Just I mean for so many reasons, but the reception has been like pretty like jaw-dropping almost every place we've gone. Like people, they like, you know, like, oh, we're so excited to have you like at the venue, and then we'll, you know, it's just the hospitality's been great. It's been so much fun. We love traveling around. We really like touring. Touring is our all-time favorite thing. I mean, you know, we haven't gone out for like 8-month-long tour by any means, but like that sounds great to me at this point. And yeah, in terms of the show and stuff, we kind of, it's ever changing and like ever kind of raising the bar. Like we did a bunch of cool stuff on the last tour with all these awesome props. And actually funny, we're talking about the arm paint. We switched to jackets because the arm paint is it's a real process getting all that stuff on. Plus, it was a little bit colder when we went out. We were touring in like November. So we did the jacket version, which was fun, but kind of changing it up. And now that we've done that, we got to find a new way to up the ante, and it's just kind of always trying to beat what we've done previous.
It's always like changes too, because the last tour we did was about 2 months long with a little bit of breaks in between.
Yeah.
3 months, I guess, stretched out total, but
Yeah,
some
from
breaks
start
in
to
between.
finish.
And we had like more we like, I don't know, with this it was like a headliner. It was like kind of that tour was like a headliner for us, so you were able to bring a little bit more like stage props and add more to your show. And it was the first tour that we've ever had like a crew member.
Yeah.
So that
Headlining is sweet. Headlining is sweet.
well, it's we had a crew member too, which really helps with striking all of this props and stuff off the stage and like packing everything up. But then like if we get on a tour, like eventually when we get on like a bigger tour with a bigger band, like you don't get your full show. You just can't. It's like it's the headliner show. It's their show, and we're there to support. And so it's a lot more stripped down. So it's like you kind of have to take sacrifices.
And so we got to find a way to have as epic of a show, but with like less stuff, which was a fun challenge, honestly. Especially now that we just did the headlining version with like everything we could think of and had access to, and now it's like hard mode where it's got to be at least as good, but without all that stuff. So it's a fun challenge and fun. I don't know. That's our passion. So we enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you really got to put a little more time into, I guess, your stage look and stuff, because that's kind of all you have sometimes. So.
Okay. And so now I know you guys just released a new song, Mad God, right?
That's it. Yep. It's out.
Great. Can you talk about the song and just what it means for you guys?
This is a fun song, all kinds of reasons. So we watched a movie called Mad God. Trist actually watched like most of it, right? And then he was like, well, this is so good, I gotta like show Glenn. So he didn't watch the whole thing, and we watched it over at my house, and we were just like the vibe was so good, and we were just inspired by it, and like that all these cool themes going on. It's a very dark movie. And like no dialogue either, so it's like a super art film, but like it's really cool. And then we were just pretty inspired and fired up, and we wanted to do a song kind of because we were writing at the time, and we were like, we got to like find a way to like get this atmosphere and like put it into a song. So literally the writing process for this was so cool, because Trist straight up sent me like a 2-track of just the instrumental, pretty much I think as you hear it in the final song. And then I in the same night did like vocals for it, and then that's like pretty much what you hear on the song now. And we went into the studio, did like a couple touch-ups, a little bit, change this note, change that note, a little quick once over on like the chorus and stuff like that. And then that was done, and it was the easiest, most kind of like natural fluid song probably we've ever done. And it was just so like kind of cathartic to not have to like, a lot of times in songs you really got to work for them, and it's like a big process, and it takes a lot of energy. And that song, it was just like done, easy. We both knew exactly what it needed to sound like, and it was that simple. So I think that song stands out to us in that way big time.
You kind of use like elements like inspired by the movie, but I think like lyrically, but I think you really took your own direction with it as well.
Yeah, and the lyrics, I like the film is very like dystopian, kind of apocalyptic, sort of nihilistic, existential, like a really crazy thing. Makes you think. Either leaves you shocked, or it makes you think, I think. But in the lyrics, I took kind of that same like perspective, but I kind of talked about stuff that's more relatable to me, like things that I can actually like talk about a little bit more. Like the guys in the film had like their thing, and I kind of tried to take that same like vibe, but like do like the Two Shadows version of it, if you will. And it's same kind of stuff. But I guess for the song, I talk more about like the kind of addiction side of things, or sort of like the opposite of addiction. I don't even know. It's like really a really crazy adventure actually in the lyrics, but just about the escape from reality that so many people end up in, be it in like prescription medication, or in addiction side of things, or what be it, and even like video games to a certain point. But like everybody's like trying to escape reality, and it's this kind of wild dystopian phenomenon that's going on that I don't think it's talked about enough in that kind of grandiose way, just how like, the people that have everything want to escape. It's like very strange, but there's a lot more to go into too. I'm like, I don't know if I'm even finished talking about that subject. It's so crazy. It's a really weird thing going on, but I love it. It's an exploration, and it isn't really like a statement. It's not like, oh, this is like that, pay attention, people. It's kind of just like, lifting the veil on stuff that goes on in society and being like, hey, what's with that? Like, is anyone else seeing this? So it's kind of a new thing too, because I don't usually do approach lyrics that way, so it was kind of fresh as well.
Okay. Do you see yourself kind of continuing that, and will this song be part of a larger project?
Likely no, but haven't written the songs yet, so it's not out of the cards. I wouldn't intuitively do that, but it could happen. It's possible. Will be look keep on the lookout for Madder God or Angry God coming soon.
Matter God. Okay, so now I have to ask, since we are pophorror.com, are you guys fans of horror? And if so, what are some of your favorites?
Nah, we don't watch horror.
Yeah.
Nah. My favorite movie is The Thing. I really love all the Lovecraftian stuff and those types of movies. Randomly, Nick Cage was in a Lovecraftian movie, Color Out of Space. Or that's the book, I think. I don't know. Book's good. Movie's really good too. Nick Cage bringing it for the Lovecraftian horror. Did not see that coming, but knocked it out of the park. So I love those types of movies, and like, the classic, like the Freddy Kruegers. I watched Freddy vs. Jason recently. That was just a fantastic experience watching that movie.
Yeah, I'm a slasher guy for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, Saw is probably my favorite series or franchise. I love Saw.
Do you have a favorite Saw movie?
I mean, the first one's just a classic, but I actually really, it's like unpopular opinion, but I really like Jigsaw for sure. I thought that was really cool, but it doesn't, it's like, I know it makes a lot of people really angry, but that one, but I don't know, like, I always like Chucky because I like the comedy mixed with the darkness. It's kind of like what we do. And there's some like pretty funny scenes in there, pretty good scenes. But I don't know, yeah, Old Thrashers, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like all those ones I really liked when I was younger. And
I think it's possible that we only watch horror movies. Do you watch like movies that aren't horror?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I don't. Yeah, unless it's maybe like a Oscar nominee or some movie that I'm like checking out. It's like pretty much just horror movies, even if they're bad. I don't know. I'm here for it.
I like all genres of everything: movies, music, everything. I'm a fan of a good movie and a good song. I don't care what the genre is.
That's right. You heard it here first, folks.
And I have to ask, since you're a Chucky fan, are you watching the TV show?
No, I didn't even know there was a TV show.
I didn't know that either.
Oh my God.
Is it good?
It's pretty good. It's like crazy campy, not scary in the slightest, but it's funny as hell.
Oh, I actually didn't know. What's it on?
Sci-fi. Do you guys get that?
No.
Oh.
We could probably get it, or I could get
line
it
somewhere.
We work too much. I don't even know.
Yeah, we're not big TV movie people. It's like a special occasion, I think, if we like watch a show. But still love it. And sometimes you find like a gem, like Mad God, literally going full circle on that. That was like just a random kind of like finding. I'd heard of the movie, and then you just like ended up watching it. You're like, dude, this is so good. So we love that about movies too, when you don't really know what you're getting into, and you just find something and you're like, wow, this is dope.
I remember we watched, I think when we were starting to do our makeup for a show once, and I don't remember what the town was. I remember the venue was called Rose Music Hall, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember what the town was, but it was somewhere kind of in the like Midwest area. And we threw on the newest Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh wow!
When we were doing our makeup, and we got like halfway through, and then we had to go in and like go on stage. Like we were just doing it in the van, and we had we've got like a TV in the van, and we got like halfway through, and like I think we were both like literally thinking about what happened next the whole show, and like we couldn't wait to like finish, and then we got back and like finished the movie.
It was the new one, and we were kind of just wanting some gritty chainsaw kills in the background while we were getting ready, and then like I think he like finds the chainsaw halfway through the movie, and then we had to do the show. What a tragedy. But yeah, it was definitely on my mind. I was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Like, so we finished the show, and then when the night was done, we right back to the bus, and we just resume. So those good tour moments like that.
All right, guys. So we have a couple minutes left before Zoom kicks us out. If you're able to talk about just what's next for you guys, any goals, anything coming up?
Well, 2024 has just begun, and we're working on all kinds of stuff. We want to do a lot this year. We did a lot of shows last year and the year before, which is cool, but we're hoping to do a lot of shows this year. We've been to 25 states, so we're halfway there. We want to work on those numbers and play a lot of shows, put up more music, and yeah, more everything. Essentially, we're hoping this is going to be one of the busiest years for Two Shadows. That's how we've started it off, and it's been just a lot of kind of laying the groundwork for what's coming up and what is coming up. If I knew, I'd tell you, but that's the goal, and we're working on it.
It's a very strong start to the year, and it's stuff we can't talk about yet, but it's been really crazy so far already.
That's the funnest part about the musician thing is it's like, oh wow, the best thing ever happened, and now I can't tell anyone for 4 months, 6 months sometimes. Like, so we're stay tuned, folks.
All right, guys. I think that was it on my end. We still have a couple minutes. Was there anything that I missed that you just wanted people to know? I always like to ask.
Yeah, I don't know, one our favorite plug lately. We've got a Patreon going on now. It's if you like the TikTok stuff and a little like behind the scenes look, check out our Patreon, which is just Two Shadows on patreon.com. I think that's the easiest way to find it. But that's kind of a new thing that we're doing, and it's really fun. And it's kind of the stuff that's a little bit maybe too long or too silly or not good enough. Not that it's not good enough, but it's just not the right content for TikTok or whatever. It all goes on Patreon.
All BTS and everything.
Yeah, if you want to see us laughing when we try to film Goths and Gothic places, that's where you will see it.
But no, that's been really good. It's been a huge support system for us too, as well. So.
All right, guys. Well, thank you both so much.